can't go out. I don't know who to trust. Fever's just the other of the day. Is this the way we want to live? Oh, with peace we don't have to breathe. When peace reigns, fear goes out the door. With peace we can work out our differences.
Hello and welcome. Today we're speaking with the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo. We're discussing the launch of his foundation. So let's meet the man and say hello and hear more about this great venture. Good day, sir, and welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing today?
I think well. It's a bit cold here in London, but
you're good otherwise.
Well, one has to try and make do with what you have.
Indeed.
But coming from Nigeria is nice and warm.
Thank you very much for giving us your time once again. And as I just mentioned there, you're in town to launch your foundation, the Olusegun Obasanjo Foundation. So tell us a little bit about the foundation.
One of the things that I have put my time and attention to since I left public office is establishing a presidential library. This is a novel venture in Africa. In America, a presidential library is a tradition which started from the time of President Roosevelt. And it has even been taken a stage higher, because at that time it was passive, a museum and an archive. But I believe from the time of President Jimmy Carter, they've moved it up into an active level where the president will have a theme or an idea that he will be advancing through the presidential library. For instance, President Carter took the issue of food production. He took the issue of eradication of guinea worm, and he advanced that through the presidential library. We have taken the issue of human security. And then we have also set up a foundation to establish, build, and operate the library as a going concern. But the foundation established to build the library in America, once a president builds a presidential library, it's taken over by NERA, National Archive and Record Agency, which manages it. It becomes part of the National Museum of National Record. In our own case, we haven't got that. So we have to find ways of keeping it and running it and maintaining it as a private enterprise, with donation from every quarter that we can get. In addition now, we have also established the active part. The museum and the archive part remains as it is under the Presidential Library Foundation. The active part is now, how do we deal with the issues of human security that we have taken on board.
The Presidential Library, the museum, and all aspects to it, who will have access to it? Because
everybody
everybody
on the surface of the earth.
Okay.
And if anybody comes from the Mars or from the moon, They will
they
also,
will also have access. I asked this question because there's been a lot of mention of, the building a presidential library, and I suspect, the mention and the talks have mainly been because of not understanding.
Yeah, that is
what,
true. Yeah.
So
Well,
perhaps
when people come now, we are still in the process of building. I have had people who have come and after they have gone around, they one went flat on the ground and said, "Look, I must apologize to you. I didn't know this is what it's all about. This is the way it's going. I have joined people who have abused you. I am very sorry." Professor Akinobo Ogunje, who is who is on the board of trustees of the had had people who have come to him. He has explained to them. But I think we have passed that stage now. We have now reached a stage where the awareness is there, and we are making progress. So the presidential library as an issue is no more an issue of controversy. We have got support from all and sundry. It's now this active aspect of it, which I am talking about, the
security for all.
the human security. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we said, the slogan is human security for all in Africa. The total issue of human security is wide. It starts from, personal security, it goes into security of employment, security of job, security of food security, health security, fundamental security, and all that. So it's wide, but for the purpose of the charity foundation which we are launching, we have taken 5 aspects.
Okay.
1, education. Even when we take education, it's wide. We narrow ourselves to girl-child education, which we believe is very, very important. You educate a girl child, you educate the family. So we are, and they are still if for lack of better word, what I would call not inadequate attention to girl-child education. For health, again, wide area. We narrow it down to what we want to focus on: non-communicable disease. You have things like blood pressure, hypertension, diabetes, sickle cell, and people used to think that these are diseases of the rich, and they will tell you, no. But when you go into the rural area of African communities in Africa, people are languishing, and what they need to do, take diabetes for instance, just know that you have it, watch what you eat, do exercise, and you can control it and manage it. Then we have the issue of youth, and we say, look, what is the key issue of youth? Take education, but it is empowerment and employment. You cannot ignore the empowerment and employment of youth. Youth acquiring skill to be able to be either self-employed or or to get employment without us all being in trouble. We would be sitting on a keg of gunpowder. The 4th one is what we call food security, food and nutrition security. And we have a program we call Feed Africa, which we are employing to just increase productivity of food, because you cannot talk of food security without availability of food.
Right.
And when you have availability, then you have affordability, accessibility. The food may be produced in some place, but it must be available, and it must be affordable to people who need it.
We can't locate it in South Africa, for instance, where we would say, in comparison to Nigeria, we have more light or more ability to communicate with ease.
Yeah, well,
or we can't locate in Ghana, where, for instance, there's more prosperity. Are we going to have regional offices, or is it mainly, why must it be located here in the UK?
That's what I have explained to you. Now, if you want to go from Nigeria to Mako, for instance, now there's no way you can go and go today and come back tomorrow. Now, but if you are in Europe from London, if you have to go by British Airways or Air France or KLM, it's easier. So it's a matter of transportation, communication, accessibility, and operationalization across Africa. That is the issue.
So in effect, you're saying it's much easier to access, communicate,
all parts of Africa.
All parts of Africa from UK than from many parts of Africa itself.
Yes, as of today.
As of today, and thus the foundation is here.
Yes.
So, sir, in 3 or 4 years' time, what are we likely to see of the foundation?
What you will see in 3 or 4 years' time is where the Olusegun Obasanjo Foundation is working in close collaboration with other foundations, big, medium, and small, in Africa, and other agencies, not just foundations, in Africa, in the area that we have identified. In the area of girls' child education, for instance, we have identified an organization that calls itself Girl Child Concern.
Okay.
All right, they are already in the field. Now, what we are doing with this is to find out how are they working, what can they do more, how can we enhance what they are doing. Now, what catalyst, or how can we serve as a catalyst for what they are doing. Then we are not only working with agencies in Africa, we are also going to work with agencies in outside Africa.
When you were in office, the diaspora was very much something that was on your mind. Thus led to the creation of NIDO. How are you going to work with
We
the
are
diaspora?
going to work with everybody. It's part of the agency that we will work with. We are going to work with government.
Right.
We are going to work with private sector. You see, the problem that we have identified is not exclusive preserve of any particular agency. We must make it inclusive.
Yes.
There are people already in the diaspora who are doing things. We want to identify them. We want to see what they are doing. We want to see where we can collaborate and work together. And just a little bit. Or, for instance, we have an organization. We want to know, look, what is this organization doing? And we are going across the whole of Africa. I was talking to an organization in Malawi the other day. Now, what are they doing? How are they doing it? How effective is it on the ground? And then we can even replicate and say, oh, look, what they are doing, you may not know. In Malawi, this is happening. Well, why can't we have it in Senegal, for instance?
Let me take, I don't know, a 14, 15-year-old today in Nigeria, and the Obasanjo Foundation has come into play. By the time he gets to 21, for instance, what will be the impact? How would we be able to see the impact of the Obasanjo Foundation in this 14-year-old's life?
Okay. The 14-year-old boy or girl of today, I believe that if it's a girl, he will not stop and is going to school.
Okay.
He will not be forced to marry at the age of 15.
Okay.
He will continue to have her education to secondary school, and indeed tertiary level. I believe that he will not go hungry, that there will be enough food to ensure his food security and nutrition security for her. She should be able to have employment, because that is also very, very important. She should have confidence in herself that, yes, here I am, a Nigerian girl. I've now reached the age of 21. I've become somebody who can give something back as a leader in my own right, as a Nigerian, as an African. This is what you will have.
Well, how do you see the ideals of your foundation, for instance, come 2014, when Nigeria will be 100? How will that fit in?
One of the things that we will be doing because we have a Center for Human Security, which is already part and parcel of the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library. The charity foundation that we are launching will also have a way that it will work with as either using the Center for Human Security as an agent in the context of Nigeria, just as we will have or as a collaborator. Now, one of the things that the library is going to showcase is the progress Nigeria has made since 1914. We call it Nigeria since 1914 till date. So that you will see, look, what is there? How is it? And you will learn as much as possible from the history of the country, which also, because if you know your history, you are better able to serve your country.
This museum aspect of the library, will it just be, are we going to see it in just one part of the country, in Nigeria for instance, or because it's a big country, are we going to have...
In museum, normally it's not a thing that you take around the world. You might take an aspect of it. A museum is static and passive. It's meant to be visited. And I want to explain this again. I don't want you or anybody to confuse the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, which is a museum, an archive, and passive, and static and passive, with Olusegun Obasanjo Foundation, which is active, action-oriented on 5 special aspects or specific aspects of human security, which I have explained. So, the museum is for Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library. Let's leave that one. Now, the one we are launching is Olusegun Obasanjo Foundation, a charity, to really see what it can do in the area of enhancing human security.
How will the foundation work with the government in order to assist that situation?
Raising awareness.
Okay.
Pointing out where things need to be done differently or done better, which we are already doing.
Okay.
But you see, in all these areas, as I said earlier on, all hands must be on deck. Personal security, we all have responsibility for it. You cannot say you worry about personal security and then leave your door open at night and say, well, I trust God for my personal security, and I leave my door open. The door must be closed. Now, that is your own individual effort. Now, the house that you live in, how secure is it? That also either your individual effort or family effort. Now, your community, what do you do within that community to safeguard the personal security of members of that community? Some people go for vigilante, some people go for guards in their houses or in their neighborhood. Then what does the larger community like the state does? What does the nation do? And what does the sub-region do? For instance, in Mali, France led, and the rest of us in West Africa, Nigeria has contributed. I was in Ghana, they were contributing. I was in Cote d'Ivoire, they are contributing. That is personal security, because if the situation in northern Mali remains as it was, then it will make security for each and every one of us in the whole of the Sahel region almost impossible. So contribution to it is all in the area of personal security.
You've told us about, this great plan, the library, the foundation. It's a lot of work. And Nigeria as a society, or Africans in general, we have issues with maintenance and being able to keep things going.
You're absolutely
What are the plans
You
you've put
are
in place?
absolutely there.
How do we keep this great dream impacting society, after you're long gone?
I have watched and seen what they do in other parts of the world in these areas. We need, for instance, a facility manager. We have a number of units making up what we call the presidential library in our own case. Now, each of those units will be managed on their own. My first effort to try and see if I could recruit a facility manager locally was a total failure. Because we advertised and the people came from Nigeria. The advertisement was limited to Nigeria. And they came and we said, okay, what have you been doing? He said, well, I've managed UAC properties. UAC properties is not anywhere to be compared with what we are talking about. And then I decided that, oh yes, we have to push this out. And then when we pushed it out, the people started getting ideas and said, what you are talking about is not just one facility one facility to be managed. You are talking of campus management in the sense of what you are talking about. And in fact, a big campus management, which is more or less, and that is giving the picture. So you struck the nail on the head when you talk about maintenance, repairs, and management of the facilities. We are putting that into consideration, even at the stage of the building and construction of these facilities.
It's a lot. Fantastic. But for you, sir, what will be your one legacy, ultimately, for you, in spite of all that you've done? Because there are so many different areas of it. What would you say that your legacy will be long after you've gone?
I had the opportunity to save Nigeria from disintegration. and God gave me the ability and that opportunity to achieve it. I had the opportunity to establish democracy in Nigeria, and God gave me the wherewithal to do that. I think those are things that are you cannot quantify it. All the other things we are talking about, whether the Prudential Library, the foundation, I hope they will survive after me. But those two that I have mentioned, keeping Nigeria a united and democratic country, is something that I feel is God-given opportunity. And I thank God and Nigerians who have made me to be able to make contribution in that wise.
The question of Nigeria's unity is one that has been a subject of discussion for so many, including Nigerians of late. And indeed, again, 2014 is the year of this. What is your comments or expectation, or how do you see the situation? Is it going to be falling apart, or are we going to stand?
I don't know. I think after 100 years, people still have misgivings. I don't know why they should have misgivings. A marriage of 100 years.
It's quite long.
It's quite long.
Indeed.
Now, I do not believe that Lord Lugard made a mistake in 1914. I believe God used him as an instrument. I believe that God doesn't make a mistake. Because, as he himself said, we are better off as a united country than as separated countries. And I believe that, yes, we have had ups and downs, but today, each of us who is a Nigerian, in our hearts of hearts, we know that we are proud when we talk of ourselves as Nigerian. And when you go out, yes, they say, oh, you look like a Nigerian. You don't go up and say, no, I'm an Igbo. Or no, I'm a Shekli. Or no, I'm a Yoruba. You are proud. Or you say, yes, I am a Nigerian. Now, when our footballers are doing well, and they are made up of different tribes. Now, we are all proud of their performance as Nigerians. And I told him, I said, look, sir, I have decided to go into this because I don't want to have to take a visa to travel to any part of the country called Nigeria today. And I believe.
Thank you very much, sir. I have a lot that I would like to discuss, but I can't take more of your time. I'm grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I can't go out. I don't know who to trust. Fever's just the other of the day. Is this the way we want to live? Oh, with peace we don't have to breathe. When peace reigns, fear goes out the door. With peace we can work out our differences.